Sir, this is Deliverable 1-2 presented by Cadets Spillane and Vallner. The purpose of this deliverable is to conduct an in-progress review of our retirement tool calculator. So there are many tasks associated with this deliverable. We're going to see if we can accomplish them all before the end of this presentation. So to begin, we want to calculate our current base pay, and the way we do this is we first input what rank we are or grade we are. So let's say we're a captain, 03. Now a captain has over 4 years of service about, and we get a value for our current base pay. The way we do this is through the VLOOKUP function, which references our grade and years of service. So we go over to our grade tab, and we see all of the values of basic housing allowance for all grades and years of service. So if we were a captain in 03, just over 4, that brings us to about $5,300, which is what the value we see here. So this is exactly what we do over here for our projected grade as well. So let's say we can pick any of these values. Let's say we retire as an 05. So as an 05, let's say we just have a little over 20 years of service, and it'll tell us that our base pay is $8,600. Now we want to try and calculate our current BAH. Now the user is going to have to determine whether they have no dependents or with dependents here. It doesn't matter if they, so let's say they don't have any dependents, they're going to, we're a captain, we're going to select 03. Now let's say we're currently in, we'll stay with Fort Sill, Oklahoma. So using the VLOOKUP function again, we go here to our tab with BAH without dependents, and we see all these values in here, and what the VLOOKUP function just did is it went over to 03 and found Fort Sill, Oklahoma here on the left, and returned the value that's in there. And again, similarly, let's say retire or in 05, and we retire anywhere. Let's say we retire in Toledo, Ohio, and it's going to return our BH with no dependents. All the user has to do here is say not available during grade if they don't have dependents as listed here. Now we want to calculate our special pay, so we're going to say we're the 03 again, over 4 years of service, and we choose what type of incentive pay we have. I mean, let's say we had hazardous duty pay, and let's say even if we were Halo qualified or something like that, we could also put one more in this calculator. Other types of pay, if we're an aviator, career enlisted flyer pay, we could choose those two. Those return a value, but we don't need to choose them. We just put not available for that as well. And what this does is it goes over here to our special pay tab and references these data tables using VLOOKUP. One thing I forgot to mention is that the difference between the VLOOKUP functions for with no dependents and with dependents is that there's two different tabs. So these two sheets, the only difference between them are the values within the sheets. And going back to special pay, let's say for an 05, we had over 14 years of service now. And let's say we somehow did become an aviator, it's going to return the value and it'll move forward. Now, since we have all this information, we can calculate our current monthly pay, which includes our base and special, and our current monthly BAH. All this does is simply adds the sum of our base and special pay. And for current monthly BAH, we just add no dependents and dependents. The reason we add those is because one of these is a string of text, so when you sum those, you're only going to get the numeric value of whichever the user chose. And it's the same thing over here for our projected values. Now we want to calculate our current tax rate, and the way we do this is that we can determine our marital status first. So let's say we're single currently, and we inform the user of our current yearly pay, and that's just simply our monthly allowance and monthly pay multiplied by 12 and summed together. So now the user knows that they can pick their pay range. So we're single, so we're going to go scroll up to our single category and select 37,000 to 90,000. This returns our current tax rate, again using VLOOKUP, and the way we do this is we go to our tax rate tab, and you see here we've inputted a row and a column, and we can find our tax rate, 25%, 0.25, equivalent to 25%. It's the same thing over here. We can say that we are married, we have our new yearly salary, so what we do is we adjust to that, we go over to the married and joint, adjust to our new yearly salary, and we see that our tax rate is now 28%. Next we want to see what value we're going to allot to our TSP, and the way we do this is the user can input any value or percentage of yearly input to the TSP that they want. So I have 5% here, but we can change it. Let's change it to 7.5% a year. We can go 0.075 a year. And all that's going to do is going to take 7.5% of our current salary, which we showed the user over here, and it's going to show 7.5% of our projected salary, which we showed the user over here. Finally, we want to take into account the net present value or GI Bill. So, using here the assumption of a maxed out private college, per year a GI Bill will pay just a little bit over $21,000. There's a $1,000 stipend, and the user also gets a monthly housing allowance. So for a civilian GI Bill, we have fixed at an E5 with dependence rate of $919. Excuse me, as I was $919.50. But if you're still in the military and use your GI Bill, there's going to be a monthly housing allowance for your location. So what we do, similar to up here, is we're going to select our location. So let's say, again, currently we do not have dependents, so what we're going to do is we don't have dependents, excuse me, so we select not available for our grade, and this is going to keep the string of letters here. Now, to get a value, what we're going to do is pick where we're going to school. So let's say we go to school in Atlanta, Georgia. Go to school in Atlanta, Georgia. Now we pick whatever our rank is that returns using VLOOKUP value, and so forth. So we also need to input how many years we're going to use this. So if we're going for an associate's degree, 2 years, 4 years for a bachelor's. So we calculate the value of the GI Bill, and that's just simply adding together the sum times the years or months. Excuse me. Now, we have the historic inflation rate fixed at 2.4%, And it's very important that we know how many years since we used our GI Bill, or since we acquired our GI Bill, so we know what the net present value is. So let's say it's been 3 years. Now we know what the net present value of our GI Bill is, because we had the value of the GI Bill calculated, our rate of return, or our inflation rate, and the year since the GI Bill was acquired. As you can see, the value of the GI Bill has decreased over the years as we have not used it. So, let's go back to our tasks and see if we accomplished them all during this brief. We want to identify and provide cells to enter the following grade: an estimated grade of ETS, years of service, years left until projected ETS, most likely location until ETS, eligibility for special pays, dependent status, estimated tax rate, and percentage of salary allotted to the TSP. We accomplish all those here, as you can see in the brief. And what do we want out of this? We want to use that information to yield a monthly pay, a current monthly pay, an estimated monthly pay at retirement, current monthly BAH, and estimated monthly BAH at retirement. And again, as you can see, we accomplished that. Finally, we want to calculate the net present value of the post 9/11 GI Bill, and that was the final thing I discussed in the brief. We accomplished that as well. So as far as our in-progress review, we accomplished all of the minimum tasks, and this concludes our presentation of the Rule 1-2.